We've hit 400,000 subscribers. You know what that means. We need another cake layer. I'm very excited for this one because I've known for like 6 months what I want for the 400,000 subscriber cake layer. You all have been complaining about the number of butts on my cakes for too long. This is going to be an all butt cake. That's right, an all butt frog cake. I've had it with the slander. Yeah, it's gonna be all butts and it's gonna be daisy themed. Daisy above each butt. It's a poetic new meaning, the phrase fresh as a daisy, which is especially great because if you did not know, daisies kind of smell like butt. If you are new here, welcome. I have an ongoing challenge on my channel where for every subscriber milestone that I hit, I add a cake tier to my frog cake abomination. So if you're into that sort of thing, subscribe, build the frog cake. We're just going to hop in. That's right, we don't need a sketch this time. I have a very clear vision in mind of what I want, and what I want is butts. Although I don't know if you can notice here, but I was struggling on the butt front. I am very ashamed to say that it was not going well, and I had to harvest a butt from one of my other cakes. I know, it's very scandalous, but it was the easiest way for me to make sure they were evenly placed around the entire cake. In case you wanted to count, we have 8 butts. I was also able to reuse a lot of my piping details, however I did need to make a daisy. And last, we need to add all of our decorations. I want to add a lot of piping details because that's some of my favorite details from the past cakes. I think that it ends up looking really nice when it's finished and painted. Don't get me wrong, painting's going to be a pain in the butt, but that's for a future me to worry about. Now I just need to chop this up. And I know I did say that this was going to be all butts, but I have a confession. This does have one face. It will be hidden when the cake is stacked, but you and I will know it's there. I have one surprise for you all. One of my followers for ages has been asking for a giant frog plate to serve the frog cake on, and we're gonna do that for this layer. It's of course not gonna work for the next layer because it's only gonna have to get bigger and bigger, but it'll still be fun. And either it'll be a nice decoration for my wall after this, or it'll be a sub layer on the cake. We'll see how it goes. I make no promises. We're gonna make that now. Okay, for some reason I only filmed this on my iPhone, so I'm sorry. I didn't want it to be just a plain plate, so as you can see, I opted to make him lily pad shaped. It's always a struggle to turn a shape like this into a frog, but I think this looks much better. So now I'm just gonna go through and add all of the veining and textures. For me, this part is the most fun by far. I just add some lines and smooth them out and add some divots and grooves, and he is done. He was pretty simple to make. Now we just need to figure out how we're going to chop them up into pieces. I think we can split them up into equal 4 parts, and that should fit on the printer. Okay, it is a tight fit, but they will indeed fit. I do think I can fit 2 on the print bed, however, I don't think I have enough resin in the vat to print both of them, so I'm just gonna do one at a time. I'm happy to announce that printing was uneventful. They were all able to be printed directly on the print bed with minimal supports, and it's pretty much just the same piece printed 4 times. Are you prepared for a beast? Dun-dun-dun-dun. 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 Behold. 2 pieces down, 2 more to go. I'm very happy to say that it was smooth sailing. Also, looking at the vat, I definitely could not have printed both pieces on one. They do all have a little bit of warping because they started to disconnect from the plate a little bit, so that'll be annoying to fix, but it should be good enough. We have a beautiful tray of butts baking in the sun. Another butt. Next we needed to cure them on the inside, which was a bit of a pain. There were a lot of pieces that had to be thoroughly cured spot by spot, which took forever, and even then it seemed like they maybe weren't cured all the way. Okay, I think our butts are finally cured inside and out. Just kidding. So I thought they were all pretty well cured on the inside, but shortly after that my husband and I noticed a little bit of like weeping. So he decided to drill them open. Dun, 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 dun. He drilled these giant holes so that now we can make sure that they are 100% cured on the inside. And so we drilled it out, which sometimes we avoid because this can happen. As you can see, I don't know if you can see the crack. Yeah, so that's why we usually don't drill out if we don't have to, because that is a risk. This is fixable. My husband's the one who's gonna be bondoing this, and he's like,
I can bondo it, it'll be fine. So
I'm like, sure, whatever. I'm just gonna do one more cure on all of them, But that means I can assemble them today. My husband can probably Bondo them this weekend, and then we can paint. No. No. It rained. Rain's usually a good thing. Not when I need to do dry tasks outside, and not when my cake is out there wet. They're there. They're there. They're there. As you may have noticed, we have our first layer of Bondo on the cake. My husband did that last night. I need to go spray it with some primer, and he's gonna Bondo it some more so that we can paint it. The rain definitely is slowing things down. I have a lot that I need to do outside, but it's too damp. The curse of an outdoor workshop. It's wet. Forever wet. Marvelous. I saw that it had stopped raining briefly, and so I quickly ran out here and put a coat of primer on. Oh, sorry. Libby's stuck and needs help. Do you need assistance, Libby? Are you stuck? You need help? Yeah. You're gonna bark at me. I'm helping you! Just going to epoxy it all together. I do not have pins this time, which was stupid on my part. I didn't think the piece would be thick enough to add them. However, now that it's printed, I definitely could have fit some on the rim where it's a little bit thicker. So this is mostly being held together with hopes and dreams. I might have to nail it later. Not again! It's still raining, but I need to Bondo, which I cannot do inside. So I think I'm going to milli put the plate. The cracks I have to fill aren't super huge, so I'm hoping that that'll be fine. I don't know, but it's not like I'm supposed to stop raining today. Why is it raining in Southern California? Can we have a moment of appreciation for the sheer size of this thing? It's huge. I really wish that resin was food safe, because then this would make the most beautiful charcuterie board. Unfortunately, most of the work has just been me running outside when it's stopped raining for a brief second and going out as quickly as possible and doing what I need to do, getting in and out before it starts raining again, because it is still raining. It's been raining for like 5 days, but that's okay, because we are pretty much done with our outdoor tasks, and now we can paint this bad boy. I'm just popping in here to brag for a second because my husband built some over-the-desk storage for me, including some paint racks for all of my paints. We have the Duncan Rhodes side. These Duncan Rhodes was very kind to send me. And over here we have the Army Painter side, which I bought all of those. I have bought every single one of those, and then we have some like custom mixed ones. We're gonna speed through some paint here. The difficult thing is that now that these cakes are getting so big, there are so many repeating elements, and so you'll go through and you'll finish like an entire row of piping and tedious work, and then you look at the cake and realize that you have to do that 8 more times. So we're definitely getting a little monotonous. Oh yes, can't forget the highlights on the booty. But I do have some exciting plans for the next layer and how we're gonna shake things up a bit. So I'm very excited for that. This layer is definitely going to be like a nice breathing layer, if that makes sense. Also, now painting it, I kind of wish that I had given it some frog legs to go with the butts, because this is truly just a butt cake, not a frog cake anymore.
The hardest part of filming the painting is that it's so hard to get a consistent filming angle, because I have to spin the cake around so many times to get all of the nooks and crannies. So I apologize.
Paint choice was simple because there was only one color green that I had enough of for this plate. Wow, this is like Shrek green. We're gonna add in some veining. It looks like online that some of the dark shadows turn into like a reddish brown color, so we're gonna try to add that and then layer the green over top if it's too much. Using my naked brush, I'm gonna use a little smudger. People often ask me how to dry brush, and basically you dip your brush into a little bit of paint, and then you want to brush off like as much as possible. You want your brush to be like if you see that there, like how little paint is now coming off the brush, that's perfect. And then you want to go on a buffer model with it. You can add more or less as you get used to how your paint works and the kind of look that you're going for. So I finished dry brushing the veins and I actually liked how it looked overall, and then I went and added some highlight shades and then also finished it off with this green glaze that I had to go over all of the red parts just to deepen the green a little bit there. It's time for the reveal. Look at this. Be not afraid. And then we have all of our butts. Look at this thing. I did gloss it up. The question is, can I lift it? We're getting to heavy. Barely. We're gonna put it back down. I don't think we're in lifting territory anymore. This thing is staying stationary. It's furniture now. I know this is probably the least froggy layer so far, but I like to think that the lily pad plate makes up for the lack of frog in the butt layer. Also, thank you for your patience. I know that they're always very late. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes, running a business, content creation, all that stuff. It all takes time, and there's a lot of unseen things that need to get done. This one actually had this layer printed, sculpted and printed before we hit 400K. I was like, I'm gonna be on time. And then life happened. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you all so much for 400,000 subscribers. I didn't really ever think we'd get this far, so it really means a lot that you all stick around and continue to grow the almighty cake frog. I hope we get to 500K because I'm really excited about that one. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Here, you want to come in the box with me? Come in the box. Yeah. Yeah. Oh.